Alright, y'all. Welcome to another edition of the Relationship Rehab Live, y'all. Hey, live. Ooh, our mic is hot. Let me get my mic right. Yes, it is. Alright. Okay. Is that better? Hey man, the name of that track is my man Beat God. My boy Queasy put that down for me. It's called I Had a Love. There we go. Let's get that up. Go. Man, it's good to be back in the place one more time. It's good to see everybody. I'm gonna give some shout outs in a minute. Yeah, buddy. Let me get this. That sounds a little bit better there. Take a little bit of that down and now. Put a little bit of that in there. We gonna rock that one more time. How the mic sound now? Yeah, you like the backdrop, man? Yeah, that's my backyard, man. You know, I just wanted to, sit out on the deck today while I did the broadcast. So, yeah. There we go. Sound good, look good. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get it. Jason Gunn. I'm trying, baby. Your boy is trying to put it down. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we good. Yes, sir. Alright, well let's go ahead and let the beat drop. Let's go ahead and subscribe and share. I'm gonna send this out to a couple of people here. We got a few people in here now. That's what's up. Copy that. Then I'm gonna go live real quick on the Facebook Live side of the game. There we go. Gonna hit the live video joint. Get that turned around. Everything cracking in there. There we go. Done. Get it positioned here. All right, there we go. All right, we got the live going over there. Let me go ahead and give some shout outs here. And we gonna mute that there. And we rolling. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Brian Redmond, aka the Doctor of Discussion, and this is the Relationship Rehab. We got a great show tonight. It's gonna be lit on and popping on tonight. So I want everybody that's watching via YouTube, everybody that's watching on the Facebook Live joint, send the show, share it out, get people to tune in, because we gonna do the thing on tonight. So I hope that you guys got it together. I hope you guys will come and join. Let's do the thing. And let's see here. We are live. Yes, we are. We live on Facebook, and of course we live on YouTube. Let me give a shout out to my man DJ Just J, who's out DJing tonight. May your wheels of steel keep turning, brother. Give a shout out to my man Jason Gunn, JJ DeBose, Your Crown of Glory, my man Super T, CEO and owner of Tavis Rentals, where at Tavis Rentals you can rent your car, but we don't guarantee it's gonna start. Shout out to my man there. Shout out to Amber Wood. Shout out to my man Chris Thorne. Salute my brother. Shout out to Roy Williams. Shout out to Therese. Is that Teresa? Or is that Therese? I think it's Therese. I may be pronouncing your name wrong. I am so sorry if I am. My man Holmes Carriers LLC. Shout out to them. Let's see. Shout out to my man Roderick. Shout out to Christian Hurt. What's up? What's going on? Yes, sir. Shout out to my man Random Cam. Shout out to Roy Williams, Blaster, Nomar. I'm trying to bring it on tonight. I'm trying to bring it. Shout out to MJ. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to my man Dwayne Boyd. Shout out to Southern Girl. How you doing? Shout out to T Jones. Shout out to Truth Unfiltered. Shout out to Ed Freed. Yes, sir. Shout out to my man Tony Hogan. What's going on? Thank you, sir, for stopping by. Shout out to Chassis. What's up? Yes, indeed. Shout out to Shannon. All right. So, shout out to my people over here checking it out on the Facebook Live. Hey, click the link in the description thing and you'll come on over to the YouTube side of the game, where we going to be really getting it going. It's a much better viewing experience for you. But while you're there, share it and subscribe and check your boy out. Click the link. What's up to China Marie? What's up to my boy Derek? Man, boy, me and Derek go all the way back to PLJ. I see you, boy. Percy L. Julian. Send a shout out to my man El Skuro, also known as Brother Darkness. Darkness, everybody. Darkness is spreading. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead, and I think we're going to just go ahead and get it cracking in the next couple of minutes. Thanks to everybody that done stopped by. Thanks to everybody that done clicked that like button. Make sure you guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so on tonight. People over there in Facebook Live land, if this your first time seeing me, and you, shout out to Bishop Brian, Bishop Redmond, yeah, my man Kev, yes, Apostle Montfort. If you are watching me on Facebook Live, then that means you probably ain't subscribed to my channel. So click on the link and then you'll see it at the bottom where it'll have the little subscribe button. Click that and make sure you click the little bell next to it. So share it, what's going on with you. Man, I want to see y'all over here because this is where it really goes down. I just really do like an intro over here, and once the show gets started, then I usually cut it off and just focus on the YouTube audience. So, because there's so many more people over here doing the thing. So, yeah, if this is your first time seeing it, go ahead, click on the link in the little title there, share it, send it out to all the people that know me, that know you, and you know them. Send it out to them. And we're going to do the damn thing. I'm excited about tonight, man. I think this is a really good topic. I really hope that this can help somebody become a better version of themselves. And I think it's going to be pretty good, man. I don't know about the phone line thing. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. It depends on how things go. It's nothing to do. It only takes a couple minutes to set it up if I need to do so, if we want to take some calls, but we'll see how that goes. I really just want to go ahead and bring out the message today, and man, get it going and get it cracking from there, and see if anybody got any questions. As always, I like to do the Q&A thing at the end, and like I said, if we need to open up the lines, I will do so. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let me pull up this here, close out this here, and get that going, because that is looking good. My background's nice. Yes, indeed. And hey, what's going on, Divine? That's what's up. I know you probably on that Call of Duty or something, getting that hardcore headquarters going. Right. But yeah, click on that little link in the description box and come on over to the YouTube side and check me out. Alright. Yes, sir. Oh, I know you got my back. I know Jason Guns, you always watching my 6, brother. I know that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Always watching my 6, man. You and my boy DK, man. Y'all always watching my 6. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all, man. That's what's up. Let's see here. Shout out to my man Marvin Chris. Yes, sir. Shout out to my man Nate Smith. Shout out to Snuggles. What's happening? Alright, people. So let's go ahead and do this, do that, get it together, and we will get it started. Alright. Let's see here. There we go. That's what I need to see. And we're going to go from there. So, I'm glad everybody was able to get some time to break away tonight. On this Friday night. Well, actually, on the East Coast is actually the 13th, Saturday the 13th. So we didn't actually go ahead and crossed over to the next day. My man Earl Curry, man, what's going on, brother, over there in Facebook Live land? Boy, I went to grammar school with Earl, my man. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad that you're doing well, man. I see you on Facebook doing your thing, man. I'm proud of you, boy. Good to see you, man. Shout out to my boy Earl. But yeah, I want us to really dive in tonight. If you guys got some questions or something, let me know. I think it's gonna be really good. We're gonna do the thing. So, without further ado, the title of tonight's show is How to Begin Rehabbing a Relationship, right? So it's the first of the year. Well, it's a few days after the first of the year. Actually, it's 12 days after the first of the year. And we are into a new year. People tend to want to have new beginnings. People want to begin to start things fresh, whether it's working out, whether it's lifestyle changes, whether it's personal goals. All those things come about, and you want to say, hey, I'm about to do a new thing, and I want to do some new things and make some good things happen for myself. Right. However, what tends to happen, especially in relationships, is that some relationships we wind up falling back into. Some relationships we wind up not really being able to fully get out of them because we still may be checked in emotionally. We may be still checked in financially. We may even be still checked in, sexually. So sometimes in life that just happens. And a lot of times we're like on the fence. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people who are in relationship turmoil, if you will, and they're kind of on the fence. Do I go? Do I stay? I don't know if I want to leave. Because a lot of times, too, people don't want to leave because of the relationship ending. That in itself is a process. And then you have to go through the process of being alone. And then this is probably one of the most feared parts of the relationship ending, is starting a new one. So it's like when you want to start a new relationship, when you want to say, hey, I got to meet somebody first, and then I got to find out if they're crazy or not. I had to find out what their likes and dislikes are. Do they like the toilet paper to roll off of the roll, over or under? These are crucial things, That's important to me. Does he or she squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom, or do they just squeeze in the middle? You people that squeeze your toothpaste tubes in the middle, there's something wrong with you. You're not right in the head. Toothpaste is supposed to be squeezing, whatever you want to call it, from the bottom to the top. That's how it's supposed to go. And if you don't do it that way, something wrong with you. All right? Yeah. Also, people who put the toilet paper on, the toilet paper sitting on the roll, whether it's to the right or to the left, it should come over, not under. Over, not under. Alright? Toilet paper, over, not under. If they got the toilet paper, you looking at me over here in Facebook Live, man. If the toilet paper is under, something wrong with your household. You ain't being raised right. Something's going on in your house. You ain't living your life right. So make sure your toilet paper is over and not under. Yeah, words from the doctor discussion himself. But with that being said, I'm just saying there are a lot of different things that you have to do to end a relationship, to get into a relationship, and that process it's very taxing. It's taxing on the mind. It's taxing on the body, and it's something that we don't want to go through, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, one of the things that I always tell people is that when you're getting out, if you got to end it, make sure that it's over. Make sure that there's nothing left to be salvaged. It can't be worked out. It's just, that's it. It's over and done with. We can't do nothing else. We've exhausted all options, all possibilities. We've seen counseling. We've done jumping jacks. We've done push-ups. We done did everything we could do. And the relationship is just not viable for the two of us anymore. It's just not going to work out. So when you get to that point, then you have to leave and you move, go your separate ways, and you begin that grieving process of the relationship ending. But I do think that there are a lot of times when a relationship can actually be healed. A relationship can actually be repaired. A relationship can actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Rehabbed. Bow. Cheap plug. You like it. I know it. I know it. But I believe that happens. I believe that you can actually get that relationship back on track, even when it's been derailed in the worst way in some instances. You can take that relationship, get it back on track, go ahead and build and rehab it, tear down what's bad and what's wrong with it, and then go ahead and fortify that thing and get it back together. However, I believe that there is a process that goes along with doing that the correct way. I think that sometimes when we get back into relationships, or when we try to salvage relationships, we try to do it with the wrong tools. And doing it with the wrong tools, one of the main ones that we try to do it with is just doing it with using whatever resources that we may have over that person. So for money, you got that money, you got that paper, you can make them bills work, you can take care of them finances, then that's a certain thing that you have over a person. And a lot of times people will come back to you because you got money, or you will be able to get people back because you got money. You can buy the love back, if you will. And that in itself is short-lived. Another thing that people use is sex. The sex is good. The sex is great. People say all the time that makeup sex is just the best. You know what I'm saying? It's like that breakup to makeup type of philosophy. It works, but it only works for a time. It's very, very short lived. It's a quick high. Just to get back into that togetherness thing that you crave. You will do things that you shouldn't be doing, but you'll do them anyway, and you'll suffer the fallout and the consequences of that relationship breaking down at the end of the day as well. And that is a no-no, because it gets you nowhere. You're wasting your time, essentially. There are people who've been in relationships where they break up and they make up and they break up and they make up, and this goes on for years, and then they look up and they're like, damn, I'm 45. And I'm still with this same person that I ain't married, I ain't gonna marry, don't want to marry, but I'm so used to this person. This person is so familiar to me that I just stay. So when you have those type of things and those type of dynamics, it can lead to a relationship being toxic to you. It could definitely become an unhealthy relationship. So like the relationship I have over here with Facebook Live. The people that are over on Facebook Live ain't came over to YouTube yet. So y'all got to click the link in the little description right there, especially you, Los. You my blood cousin, and you over here watching me on Facebook. Get on over to the YouTube side of the game. You too, Dre. What's up, man? Y'all can't show a brother some love on YouTube? Boy, I tell you, man. You guys. Hey, but share it. Send it out to some people you know. And come on over to YouTube, man. That's where I'm going to finish the show at. Instead of doing the double thing, you know, your background is horrible and all that kind of stuff. And all y'all doing is looking at the side of my face. Ooh, I need a haircut too. Y'all just looking at the side of my face. Y'all seeing my BDBs over here. I'm going to see my barber tomorrow. It's all good. But hopefully. And man, this your first time watching, cuz? I'm glad you came, man. Check me out. So come on over to YouTube, man. Click that little thing or go to The Relationship Rehab on YouTube and watch me. Watch me now, like Miss Cleo. But I'm going to have to end it over here so I can go ahead and focus and do my thing over there. Love y'all, man. Peace. Thank y'all for stopping by. Alright, so with that being said, moving on to what I basically came up with, I thought of a few points that I figured would be really meaningful with what we're trying to do and what we're talking about here tonight that will help some people in what it is that I mean by rehabbing a relationship. Because there are certain things that I think you need to do and need to have the tools to do and say, hey, this is what we're going to focus on, and then I can see if this relationship is actually going to be worth rehashing, rebuilding, rehabbing, if you will, to make it viable and healthy. At the end of the day, one of the things that people fail to really pay attention to are those warning signs, and they ignore them for so long, and then they become problems, and then after they can't take it anymore once the love is gone, once all of the infatuation time period is worn off, and it's just, man, it's me and you now, huh? Hey, you got that vibe. Then now all of those true things that you really need from that person, they aren't able to deliver it, and then the relationship breaks down. So one of the main things that I want to definitely bring to the forefront is when you're talking about rehabbing a relationship, first and foremost, and this is like my thing with just about anything, when it comes to counseling, when it comes to marriages, when it comes to relationships with your friends, your cousins, your uncle, whoever, and just relationship one-on-one, period. One of the first things that you have to do when a relationship has taken a turn for the worse, first thing you have to do is you have to accept personal responsibility for your part in the breakdown or the disconnect. So what do I mean by that? When you have that relationship where things went left, that person wronged you, hurt you, broke your heart, did whatever it is they did to you, you have to be able to say, well, hey, this is exactly what I need to do so that in the future this doesn't happen again. And it happened, or part of the reason why it happened is because I was too this, or I didn't do that, or I didn't have enough of this, and I didn't pay attention to that. So that can be a lot of different things. A lot of times we have people in our lives that play very good victims. And what I mean by that is they'll be the person that won't put in the work to build a relationship, but will definitely be the one that's there to be the victim of the lack of work that's being done in the relationship. So you can say, well, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, and all of this is happening, and he's doing this and he's doing that to me, and she's doing this and she ain't doing that, you know, and then you sit back and say, well, I did this because of that, or this happened to me and I don't know why, but here we are and I'm the victim. That's not fair. And that's not how relationships work. Relationship is a two-way street. It's like a business. It's a company. You both are working at something together. You're both building something together. And if you sleep at the wheel, then you're just as much at fault as the person who is reckless at the wheel. Okay? So if I'm in a car and I'm driving drunk and you sleep, then you shouldn't be asleep if our goal is to both drive. Because then you would see me drunk and could say, get your ass out the drive and see you drunk, and you could take over. So it's like it has to be a team effort all the time. Not some of the times, not when things get rough, not when things are awesome or when things are great, but all the time. It's a 24/7 job. You have to be a team. So personally, you have to be able to accept responsibility for your own actions. The things that you've done, things that you didn't do. So, you know, the dude that goes upside his woman's head and dotted her eye and gave her some rights and lefts, you're toothless, and then you say, God damn, they're ruthless. That person, you have to take responsibility for your actions. Also, the person on the other side of that, you need to take responsibility for your actions. first and foremost, should you be in a relationship, or why are you in a relationship where you're getting right, left, and you're toothless? And then you say, God damn, they're ruthless. Why are you in that relationship? When did it go wrong? What was the first warning sign to let you know that he or she would go outside your head? Because I definitely know that women will be the ones to kick it off and want to pop off and snap, crackle, and pop somebody upside the head. So that first time that it happens, that first warning sign, that first time I punch the wall instead of punching your jaw, eventually I'm going to work my way around to you. So when you're talking about personal responsibility, what did you do leading up to that, and what are you going to do after that to accept responsibility for the situation that has occurred? So you have to make sure that you are able to do that. Be responsible and be accountable for the things that you do and the things that you fail to do in the relationship. That's first and foremost. If you can do that, then you can move on to step 2. And step 2, it's going to sound a little crazy, but I want you to hear it. Okay? Number 2, be selfish and know what it is you need from your partner that will make you function better in the relationship. What do I mean by that? Being selfish. A lot of times we as people in relationships, we tend to be selfless, and selfless is good because you have to be selfless at certain points. But in the beginning of a relationship, you need to be selfish enough, which means you need to care about yourself enough to be able to voice your opinions as far as what it is that you actually need from the other person. What type of person are you? What type of things do you need? What do you want this person to be able to do for you to make you feel good, to keep you fulfilled in the relationship? And if both of you all are doing that, then now your expectations can be set clearly. A lot of times we have expectations. A lot of times we have things that we want and that we need from our partners that we do not voice clearly, that we do not set up front. We wait until shit falls apart and then say, well, I need you to tell me that I'm pretty. That's something that you need to have up front. I like compliments. I need my man or my woman to validate me and tell me that I look good. Tell me that I feel good. I make you feel good. Tell me that, what I have on and makes me look good. Tell me that you like me in this color or that color. Those are the things that I need from you as my partner to let me know and to make me feel good so that I have my confidence and my self-esteem is right so that I won't, be feeling less than in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain investment that you expect your partner to make into you, but you have to let that partner know what your investment needs are. And we fail to not do that until shit has hit the fan. Things have broken down, there are problems, and now we tell somebody, well, I need you to be more of this, or I need you to be more of that. Be upfront and be selfish enough to be concerned about your own wants and needs that you're willing to put that on the table. Because if you're willing to put it on the table, now I can see. And in a lot of cases, people can take those things on the table and they can fulfill them. But there are some instances too where people can see those things and see what's going on and say, that's a tall glass of water, I don't think I can drink it. If you're the type of person that's very demanding, you're high maintenance, you need a lot, I may not have time to give that to you at this point in my life. I may not be equipped to give you what it is that you need. So being upfront and being selfish to the point to where you're willing to talk about what it is that your wants and needs are, as opposed to saying, well, I'm here for you and I'm going to do whatever you need. I'm going to be everything that you want me to be. And you do that, but you forget yourself. And then you have a moment where you say, well, what about me? Because those things that you think I should know, I don't, because you've never told me. And you never set those things out up front. So now that you want to tell me, now that you want to bring them up front, you're already feeling neglected. You're already feeling unfulfilled. Now I have to make up for that just to try to catch up and then do more. But if I'm not equipped to do it, how can I? So the relationship is doomed. I'm being set up for failure. So that's very important that you're able to do that. Be selfish enough to tell your partner what it is that you need and what you want from them, because that essentially is what the expectation is going to be. You're gonna expect that. So it's like, have that up front, have that in your mind. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people think that's a bad thing. Oh, you self-centered. That's bullshit. I want to be able to get my needs met just like I want to be able to meet your needs. And that's where the selfless part comes in. Because when you're able to say, this person knows what it is that I expect, they know what it is that my needs that I have, and they're willing to meet those, then you're going to be selfless enough to give up yourself to say, well, I'm going to meet their needs too. Oh, yeah. Now, number 3, make actionable items. And I usually say to keep this like usually no more than 3 during the rehab process, because now you're trying to build this thing back together, and you want to tell that other person what it is that you want from them, what it is that you need from them. And when you lay on too much, it's overwhelming. If you tell me you need me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I done stopped listening after 4. So it's like I don't hear the other 14. So when you want to start, when you're in a position where you're trying to rehab things, you got to remember that you already have a damaged house. The house is already damaged. All right. So the tornadoes come, it's tore up the certain parts of the house. You got holes in the roof, you got windows busted out, you got holes in the wall, busted pipes. You got a lot of work that needs to be done. However, what you need to do when you're making that list of those things that you need to repair the house, then you have to start small. Start with the most important things, but don't start with too many of them. So I'd say no more than 3. More than likely, depending on most people, I recommend 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you can be more effective when it's just 1 or 2 things that you're doing, or 1, 2, or 3 things that you're doing, as opposed to 30. So keeping that down to that particular number is important. So those actionable items that you can control and begin to do immediately. So it's like this: if you have a house and it's been damaged in a storm, all right, you got a hole in the roof, you got a busted pipe in the basement, and you have a broken window. What's the first thing you want to do? If it's a storm that then came through, then you're obviously in a storm season. So it's possibly that it can rain or storm again. First thing you want to do is what? Repair the roof. You want to put something up there to repair the roof, whether it's a tarp, whether it's, redoing shingles, whatever the case may be. You want to put that up there, right? So make sure that's something that you do first. Let's get the roof repaired. Then we can look at the window, because that's equally important, right? But you definitely want to start from that top and work your way down, because that water is going to come from the top, right? So that's how you want to make sure that you're labeling those things out. Those most important things, that most important one, that main one, that's the one you want to put at the top of the list and say, well, hey, and that could very well be very difficult. So it may only be 1 point that you have to put out, but you definitely want to do that. So you make sure that it's something that you can control and begin to do immediately. Be willing to work harder and commit more time and resources to your action items and your partner's needs. So basically what I mean by that is you realize now that you've had this storm, you've had this damage to your house, and now you're trying to rehab it. You're going to have to put in a little bit more time to get things up to par again, up to code, if you will, or to where the relationship is habitable, where you can actually live in the relationship and it's healthy. So you got that hole in the roof, you got that window that's busted out. Those are things that you might have to work, 12 hours straight on. You might have to work overnight on. Because they're so important and so vital to the relationship, you're going to have to put a lot of time, energy, and resources into getting those main things done first. That's the first main 2 points of focus that I want to concentrate on. This is what I'm doing, and I'm going to get those things back in order first. Okay? Once you do that, then you can say, well, now I can, work on the other little things. I can get the planter back up. I can get the door, bag fixed. I can fix the drain. I can fix the pipe. You can do those things, but those main core things, which is just those 4 walls and that roof together, that's imperative to get done first. So make sure that you focus on that, because those are things that you can and make sure they are things that you can absolutely control. Okay. Action items. So when we talk about action items and with your partner's needs, the action items are things that you say, hey, this is what I need, and this is how you meet this need by doing this. So if I tell you, I don't like the way you put me down. Okay, what is the action item to that? The action item to that is, don't call me a bitch. Okay, it's just that simple. Don't give me, to say to somebody, well, don't yell at me. People get heated in conversations and people get passionate in conversations, so that's more unrealistic. That's something you really can't control. I can't just stop yelling for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? But I can definitely choose my words wisely. I can definitely, know when to calm down. I can definitely be told to calm down. So those are the type of things that you say, hey, these are immediate action items. When you do this, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel unworthy. It makes me feel like I'm just, no good. I'm worthless, whatever the case may be, and it hurts my feelings. So when you do this is exactly what gets us to this place. So don't do that. Don't call me out of my name. That's an actionable item. That's something that people can remember. That's something that people can attain. When you talk to me, even when you're frustrated, you pissed off, I get it, but don't call me out of my name. That's something that's very tangible that you can actually, well, not tangible, but that's something very attainable that you can do, right? Cool. Number 4, don't set unrealistic expectations for your partner. Realize and understand that change is a process, and successful progress is not always instantaneous. I got to read that one more time because this is just so important. Don't set unrealistic expectations for your partner. Realize and understand that change is a process, and successful progress is not always instantaneous. So when I say don't set unrealistic expectations, don't ask your partner to do something that is, first of all, maybe not possible to be done, or it is not in that person's skill set to do. A lot of times we're in relationships with people and they have things that that you may want them to do, but they just can't do it. It's just not in their makeup. It's just not in their personal their DNA. It's just not a part of who they are, right? If I'm a person like me, I'm a person where, hey, I don't use profanity. Well, I do. I use profanity quite often. Sometimes when I'm speaking, especially when I'm not in a professional environment. When I'm in an environment, I'm not on my job, and even sometimes on my job. But for me, to somebody to ask me, I want you to stop using profanity, period. That's something that, for me, because I'm 43 years in the game, right? About to be 44 on the 27th, Lord willing. With me being in the game that long, I can't just give up profanity. It's just something that's unrealistic for me to do. Can I try to do it less? Absolutely. But to give it up, don't do it no more, can't do it, man. I can't do it. It's something that's a part of me. It's something I was raised around. I've been exposed to it for too long to just say, yep, I'm done with that. Okay? And to ask for and to give me that expectation to do that, it's unfair and it's unrealistic. And also, too, realize that it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So the next day after you done had this long talk with your significant other, y'all have worked out all of your differences, and you set expectations, she set expectations, you got a written down, whatever you gonna do. You got all these expectations set. Now tomorrow is not the day you pull out the red pen and wait for them to fuck up to say, I told you, didn't we just talk about this last night? You can't do that. It's a process. Progress is a process. You want to progressively get better at something, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. I'm going to relapse. I'm going to slip. I'm going to fall. That's where you step in to help me get back on track. And you do that with patience, understanding, coaching, and love. That's what you do that with. So when somebody does that thing that you don't want them to do, they do that thing that pisses you off again a week later. Now you revisit what it is you discussed and say, well, hey, How can I help you be better at this? How can I help you do this better? That's when you step in and you coach that person on your expectation. That's one of the biggest things that we have in life. We got all these expectations for people. We have all of these things we want people to do for us, how to treat us, how to talk to us, how to behave around us, but we don't want to coach them on it. We don't want to teach them how to do it. We just expect, you should know. Shit. You with me? You should know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you have to take the responsibility on and say, you know what? I desire this so much from you, and I care so much about you that I'm going to coach you and I'm going to help you get there. Now, if that person don't want to be coached, if that person don't want your help, then now you have to understand that that person does not care about your expectations. And sometimes that's hard to realize. Sometimes that's hard to understand and hard to accept. That person that you've been trying to get on track, you've been trying to help them, trying to show them, trying to teach them, being patient and going along and trying to give them every opportunity to improve, and they don't, then they just flat out don't care. They don't care enough about it to change. It's just that simple. And a lot of times we don't want to accept that fact, but a lot of times that's exactly what it is. If I ask you to stop popping gum, that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like gum poppers. If I ask you to stop popping gum, I tell you that it really irks me. It's disturbing to me. It's a pet peeve of mine. I'm sorry, but that's me, and that's how I am. I hate gum popping. So I'm sitting there and y'all know what y'all know what I'm talking about. If I ask you to stop it, I understand it may be a habit for you. But if it's a habit you can't break, then be honest and say, I'm sorry, but I've been popping gum since I was 2, before I had teeth. And I can't stop now. If that's the case, then now you let me know, oh, okay, well, I can't deal with this person. It sounds petty, but if it's a big pet peeve of mine and you can't change it, I can't expect you to change something that you've been doing since you was a kid. I get it. But I'm glad you let me know up front. So now I don't have to have that expectation to think you're going to change something that you ultimately don't want to change. It's just that simple. So it's like you definitely have to make sure that you are able to make sure that person is able to do what it is that you're asking them to do, and then that you have the patience to teach them. Which brings me to my next point. Coach, train, and follow up on a weekly, bi-weekly basis for at least 3 to 6 months. Because people will look at that and say, well, how long do it take to do something like that? There it is. Be willing to, if you are willing to say, I'm willing to give this person 3 to 6 months to change, and that person is worth it, and you willing to go through the setbacks, you willing to go through the fuck ups and the oops my bads, if you willing to do that, then it's worth it. It's worth it. And if you have that set in your mind and you have that expectation that you set, but you also expect for this person to slip and fall every now and again, and that person's going to give you a true effort, he's going to give you 100% effort, or she's going to give you 100% effort, then you go through that coaching and training part. So it's like, and through that coaching and training part is basically this. You and your partner can be honest and transparent about each other's progress. Those things that you ask of me, hey, you know what, I'm really struggling with this. I need you to help me with this. What are some ideas that you have to help me do this better? Sometimes it can be something as simple as you always forget to take the damn garbage out. Okay, what are some of the things I can do to remember to take the garbage out? You can remind me. I'm pretty damn sure you got a smartphone. I can set reminders on my phone every day, every other day. Take the garbage out before I go to work or before I leave, or when I come home, I got an alert that'll go off on my phone and let me know that's what I need to do. That little thing in itself could be something that can make all of the difference in the world, because if all I'm expecting of you is to take the garbage out and you can set an alert on your phone, then now I don't have to worry about you missing the garbage, because when you come home, Siri gonna let you know right then and there. You need to take out the garbage. Boom. There's my alert. There's my reminder. I'm out the door. You know what I'm saying? With the garbage in hand. Can is out front. Garbage is in the garbage can. Picked up the next day. It's supposed to be picked up. We good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now you have that need met. You have that expectation that you set. You've used some tools to coach and train around it. And you've even brought in technology to help you do it. How many times could that be helpful to somebody to say, well, you know what, if it hadn't been for this phone reminding me, we still be arguing over this, but because I got the phone now, I'm good. Now that don't mean that you go and take your whole entire life and relationship and program it into a phone. Now you got to make sure you do this on Tuesdays. Make sure you do that on Wednesday. You ain't got to go that serious, but if that's what it takes, so be it. I'm not one to judge. Well, I do judge, but I ain't one to knock you. I judge. Believe that. With my gavel. But at the end of the day, that's pretty much what that coaching and training piece is. It's being honest with your struggles. It's checking in on a consistent basis and knowing how that person's feeling, how that person's doing with that progress. And you can evaluate that progress and see and know, like, hey, this person is trying. I see this person is putting in effort. They're doing these extra little things to try to make it work. So I appreciate that. And the fact that they're doing that, it should make you want to be even more patient with that person and to even want to help that person more. Cool. So my last point, and this one is pretty big. I would say love on each other and remember that it is not the other's intent to hurt you, but it should be their intent to help you and make you better. Even though it may offend you and make you uncomfortable, don't be defensive. One more time. Love on each other first and remember that it is not the other person's intent to hurt you, but it should be their intent to help you make you better. Even though it may offend you and make you uncomfortable, don't be defensive. So what do you mean by that? First and foremost, loving on each other is just that. Be that person that is the other person's support system. Love them. Care for them, do for them, reciprocate what it is that you would want them to give you. Do it for them. Show them how you want to be loved by loving them that way. Finding out what it is that they need from you to show you that they love. You could be the person where you know how they talk about love languages? Your love language could be, you buy me a Snickers on Tuesdays when you come home from work. I know that's one of the first things you're going to give me. That may be how I equate love. It may sound petty, may sound stupid, but Snickers really satisfies. But if that's what I need, then if you really do care and you really do want to reciprocate and want me to do those little quirky things for you, then say, hey, I'm going to make sure that this person gets that Snicker on Tuesdays. That's our thing. You know what I'm saying? And you do that. Give that person that candy bar. Give that person them flowers. They may be some chicken wings or something. Give them some Harold's. So shout out to Harold's, man. Shout out to Harold's with the mild sauce, hot sauce, fried hard, salt and pepper. Yeah, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. And make sure that you are that for that person and you can give that person that thing. That's how you love on people. That's how you show. It's just doing those things. Love is a verb. Love is something that you do. It's not just something you say. It's something that you must do. And if whatever it is that makes that person feel good, whatever it is that makes that person feel, fulfilled and loved and wanted and cared for, then that's what you do. And that's what loving on somebody else means. It's not just all about what you think it should be. It's about what that person likes, what that person wants, what that person desires. It could be a foot rub. It could be a kiss on the neck. It could be a hand job. Whatever floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And that's just really key. We have lost that. That thing of just saying, I know this person likes this, I'm going to do that for them. And this other part here is so important. Remember that it's not the other person's intent to hurt you, but it should be your intent. It should be their intent to help you and make you better. So what do I mean by that? That intention piece, man. It's so important. When somebody says something, when somebody does something that you don't like, when somebody says, hurts your feelings or whatever the case may be, when that thing happens and you feel some type of way, you get into your feelings, or as people say all the time, that's the new thing now. I got off into my feelings, or I'm feeling some type of way. When you do those things and those type of things happen, then you have to step back for a second. And nobody's saying to don't, care about your feelings. Ain't nobody saying that your feelings don't matter. But when you address a situation like that, you have to step back and say, this person does care about me. This person does love me. And I do know that it is not their intention to hurt me. It's not that person's intention to hurt me. Yeah, that person didn't pick up the clothes and put the clothes in the washing machine like I asked them to before I left work this morning. And now it's 10 hours later and them clothes are still there. Was that person's intent to not do it? No. Did they forget? Should they be held accountable for it? Hell yes. But it's not their intention. And when you understand and accept the fact that it's not somebody's intention to do something for you, you will absolutely address it a different way. You will approach it a different way. You can be more calmer. You don't have to be as pissed off as you is, because a lot of times we get so into our feelings that we think everybody in this world is on a network talking via phone, via Skype, via computer, text message. They just talking to try to piss me off. They want to hurt me, come after me, do whatever it is to just make me be the person that is just the most unhappiest person in the world. And it's all a plan and a conspiracy to do it. That's not the case. A lot of times, you don't know what's going on in that person's mind. You don't know what that person just flat out forgot, or if a bunch of other circumstances happened throughout the day and they just didn't do what it is that you asked. But it wasn't their intention to disappoint you. It wasn't their intention to hurt you. And I always tell people that you have to be able to say, at this person's core, of who they are and how they feel about me, is it their intention to do what they did? Now, if you can say 100% sure, I believe it was. That person literally intended to do what they did to me. Then now you know that person does not care about you. That person does not care about your feelings, doesn't care about your well-being, doesn't care about your wants, your needs, your desires, and does not have any intention of meeting your expectations. That's a whole different conversation, and now it's time to reevaluate the relationship, and yes, you may very well need to check out of it. But when you can say that I know that person didn't mean to do that to me on purpose. I know it hurt my feelings and it pissed me off that she ate the last chicken wing, and I had my heart set on that wing when I came home, but she ate it. Maybe she just ate it because she was hungry. She didn't eat it because she didn't want you to have the last chicken wing. It's just that simple. So keep that in the forefront of your mind. Make sure that it's not that person's, realize and accept the fact that it's not that person's intention to do what it is that they did to you. It could be a lot of other circumstances, a lot of other issues, and a lot of other reasons as to why that happened. So the next piece to that is it should be their intent to help you and make you better. My intention with my wife, my intention for my friends, my intentions for those people that I engage in conversation and in relationship with on a consistent basis. It is always my intention to help you and to make you better and to help your life be better than what it is. And if that's just me talking to you, checking in with you, seeing how you doing, or if that's me being a husband saying, hey, this is what we need to do together, we can do this together or do that, spend time together, whatever the case may be, so it can make our relationship better. If it's being that ear you need to listen, if it's being that person you need advice from, my intention is always to help you. Always. Now, if I fall short of that, if I don't do that, if I hurt your feelings, if I disappoint you, if I miss the mark, if I fail you in any way, know that it was not my intention to do that. My intention was to help you. And I will fall short. There will be times when I do miss the mark, but the intent is to help. Realize that. Even though it may offend you and make you uncomfortable, don't be defensive. Huge. We have a big problem with not just our sexual relationships, the relationship with our wives, relationships period across the board, men, women, co-workers, friends, associates, people you don't know, people you meet at the grocery store, whatever the case may be. We have a big problem with the truth because we don't want to accept the truth, especially when it's something that's a bad look for us, especially when it's something that is telling us that we're doing something wrong. We don't want to hear that truth. We don't want to accept that truth. We don't want to say, well, hey, This is what this person's saying about me. It's hurting my feelings, but it's the truth. You have to accept the truth and hear the truth. And people will talk about, well, that's not my truth. I hear your truth, but you need to hear my truth. There is no your truth. There is no my truth. There is just the truth. Now, there are people who can have different experiences. My experience with you is this. My experience with you is when you do this, you treat me like this, it makes me feel this way. That's my experience. But the truth is just that. It is the truth. It isn't a his, it isn't a hers, it isn't a mine, it isn't yours, it isn't a theirs, it isn't a ours, it isn't a us, and it isn't a them. It's just the truth. That's why it's so wonderful in what it is. It doesn't belong to one person. It doesn't belong to this person here or that person there. It is not something that is, hey, this is the relative to this person here, what they think is the truth, and this relative with this person. The truth is just simple facts. Now, we tend to confuse that with our experiences. What my experience in life is this. What my experience with you is this. What my experience when I did that was this. That's two different things. But the truth is just that. It's the truth. And we don't want to hear it. But if I'm telling you the truth, even if it offends you, because of my intention to help you, because of what it is that I'm trying to be in your life, what it is that I'm trying to bring to your life, that truth, even though it hurts, even though it offends you, it's for your good. I am trying to offend you to good works. I'm trying to offend you to make you better. And if that's what it takes for you to be better, then so be it. It's okay to be offended if it's going to make you better. It's okay to get offended, to have somebody tell you the truth and tell you what it is, and it may upset you, it may hurt your feelings, but it's to be done to make you better. If I'm going to offend you to make you a better you, then so be it. And we as people have to accept that and understand that part. We have to be able to take that piece and say, hey, you are offending me to good works. What you're telling me, even though it hurts me, even though it doesn't make me feel good, even though I don't feel like the best version of myself when I hear it, it is still something that you are doing and telling me to make me better. And I can't be defensive about that. I can't be. So don't be offended don't be defensive when people are offending you to good works. When people are offending you to be a better you. You can't be defensive about that. You can't. And what I mean by defensive is when somebody tells you something that you don't like, you the first person to say, well, you do it too. Well, when I say that, the reason why I say that is because of what you do. You do this, and you make me that, and you always say this. You always try to do those type of things that make me feel a certain way too. You're not hearing what it is that person is trying to tell you. You're not hearing and accepting and embracing that part that somebody is trying to give to you to make you a better you. I got this video where I talk about embracing your hammer. A hammer hurts if you get hit with it. But at the end of the day, a hammer can tear down and a hammer can build up. So if you embrace your hammer, yeah, it may hurt a little bit, but it's for your good. Yeah, it may not feel good, but it's for your good. It's going to make, because at the end of the day, that same hammer I used to tear you down with, it's going to be the exact same tool I used to build you up with. And that in itself is going to make you feel good. Because once you've been rebuilt, you've been reborn, you've been made better, you've been improved, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better, you're going to sound better. That's when you're going to just be a better you. So embrace that hammer, even though it may hurt. And if you got to brace yourself while you're embracing it, so be it. But take it. Take it in love and take it at the fact to say, well, hey, I know that what's happening and what I'm getting right now, it may not sound good to me. It may not make me feel good, but it's going to make me better. And at the end of the day, if your feelings get hurt to make you a better you, then so be it. Because feelings are just moments that you have in time. A feeling isn't permanent. It's temporary. You will have a billion of feelings. Different moments, different situations, different experiences will make you feel different ways. So it's okay if you do that. Let that feeling come and go. Because at the end of the day, your job is to be the best version of yourself. It's to be a better you. And that's what your goal is every single day. What can I do to be a better me? That's what it's about. So, those are my 6 points. I hope, and I pray that what it is I've said today will help you become a better version of yourself. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I want you guys to be better yous. My intention is always, always to help you, not to hurt you. Even though it may hurt a little bit, it's to make you a better you. I'm willing to coach and train and do whatever it takes and check in with you to help you be that better you. I do want to make sure that I will make sure that I set realistic expectations that you can meet, and I will help you meet them. As long as you put forth the effort to meet them. As long as you put forth the effort to work hard to try to meet them. At the end of the day, I will sit down with you, give you actionable items to say, hey, things that we can actually act upon to do immediately to actually help repair this relationship. I'm willing to do that. I will also be selfish enough to let you know what it is that I need and what it is that I want so that you will be able to give it to me, because you can't give to me what I don't tell you that I need. If I don't tell you, you don't know. And if you don't know, you can't give it to me. So that in itself is very important. And last but definitely not least, I will always accept and be responsible for my actions and for my part in the breakdown in our relationship, the disconnect that we may have in our relationship. It's always two people. It's always two sides, and it's always two parts. And when both of us come and put what we have on the table together, we both accept responsibility for what we did or what we didn't do, then we can find a good middle ground to build upon and to improve and make better. Boom. Hope I tied that all back together. Y'all saw the loop back, how I brought it down and came back up. Ooh wee, boy, I tell you, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Huh? Yeah. Now, I did see early on that there was some questions that I saw in there, so I will definitely, if you want to post those now or repost those, I'll try to scroll back. Well, you know, it ain't like my message thing long. That damn long, so I can probably scroll back up and catch a couple of them. Let's see here. And I hope everybody that done came through has subscribed. Click the like in that little bell. I hope so. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Scrolling. Keep that scroll bar scrolling. Scroll hard. Alright, let's see. I was just thinking about the money part earlier. I can't see. If you can, absolutely go ahead and go back and repost those questions. Oh, okay, I see Jason. He said, I got questions. Alright, that's good stuff. I got a pen and paper waiting, bro. My man Roy. Boy, I tell you, there's some good people in here, man. And also, while I'm here too, shout out to my man Tommy. Shout out to my brother DJ Just J. Shout out to Packer Girl. Shout out to Tanisha. I just want to tell y'all, man, it's a pleasure working with you guys. It's a pleasure building with you guys. I'm proud of the work that we're doing. It's awesome. It is always a pleasure to be able to do what it is I do with my brother Tommy every week. Sorry we couldn't do the Goober and the Whore this week, but y'all know we gonna be back, and we will definitely make it up next week. It'll be awesome. It'll be lit. You know what I'm talking about. So just bear with us. We will definitely do our thing again soon. Let's see. I am here to learn. So far so good. Either way, I'm going to wipe. Yeah, that's that toilet paper. I see you, brother. Just thinking about the money part earlier today. Yes, indeed. No. Oh, okay. Here go one question. What does rehab mean? Rehab means to rehabilitate. I usually refer to my rehab when I talk about it. It's basically about the whole part of just like rehabbing a house. How many times have you seen a home that's been, paint isn't no good. The paint is faded and cracked, falling off. You got busted windows. You got the outside, the exterior doesn't look good. The landscaping is bad. It just doesn't have any curb appeal. It's been hasn't been upkept properly, and it looks run down. Well, the rehab part of that is to go in, tear down the things that are bad, and go in and rebuild and refortify the structure. If there's some good structure left to it, if the pipes are good, if it's a good, foundation and things like that are there that's left, then go ahead and rehab that thing. Fresh coat of paint, do some landscaping, do some change out the windows, you know what I'm saying? New carpet, new floors, and man, you will have a pretty viable home that you can live in and or sell or rent out. So that's what I mean by rehab. It's just basically being able to tear down those things that are bad and rebuild it and refresh it and get it back new to where it's definitely improved, or should I say. You can't always make things new again, but you can definitely refresh them. You can definitely rebuild them to where, they are viable, healthy, and definitely livable situations. And I just equate that to relationships. Boom! And I am thirsty. Oh, and also shout out to my man who I couldn't forget. I can't believe I did. I'm so sorry. Charge it to my head, not my heart. My man, Shouty King. Yes, sir. Shouty King on the gaming side of the game now. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Scroll on down, see what else I got. Norman, what does rehab mean? Haha. Hey, if you are new here, thank you, brother Jason. Do you rehab from top down or better to bottom up? Good question. So when you rehabbing something, you rehab from needs. You rehab from the need part first. So when you rehab something, you don't have to necessarily go from the bottom up. You first evaluate to make sure that it's actually possible to rehab. That means it's worth it. That means that you don't have to do a full tear down. You can actually save the pretty much the structure of the building or the relationship. When you're talking about where you start with the place that has the most need. Like when I was talking earlier about the roof being there being a hole in the roof and there being a broken window. The hole in the roof is more important than a broken window because water coming into the roof from the top is more damaging than that. However, if the foundation is bad, then foundation could be structural damage to where the house could be leaning. So you may need to repair the foundation first. It depends. Or the foundation can have a crack in the foundational wall where there can be flood water coming through. So now you got standing water, which could create mold, which could make the whole place unlivable. So it depends on where the need is, where the immediate need is. That determines where you start. It's just like a trauma center or a triage or something like that. If you got a gunshot victim and you got a stab in the hand, you know what I'm saying? They both hurt, but which one is more important? The gunshot wound. So that's what you're going to treat first. Not to say that the stab in the hand is not equally important, but that's something where you can survive with that stab in the hand a little bit longer than you can with the gunshot wound. So let's see here. I got my baby coming. I'm so happy. Oh, you got a baby coming? That's what's up, Brielle. Good stuff, man. And he says she's not a thought. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Yes, indeed. You've been able to hook up thoughtless. Good. Romance is big. Yes, romance is it is big. It is important. It's a lost art in a lot of today's relationships, but to those that still believe in it, to those that still like it and appreciate it, absolutely romance is huge. One of the reasons why I lost my relationship is because she said I wasn't romantic enough. Well, at the end of the day, that's something, George, if you see something where a woman says that to you, then number one, you need to know what your romance threshold is. Everybody is not a romantic. Everybody is not a romancer. Everybody doesn't have the skills to romance. So it's like you need to find out how romantic can you be. And at the end of the day, you think about those things and think about your creativity levels and all those type of things and see if that's something that you actually like to do and something that you are capable of doing. And then you will know, in your next relationship to say, hey, am I, this is pretty much, some of the most romantic things that I've done. And with that being said, is that something that they would say, wow, you really did that? That's really exciting. Or they say, that's it? You brought flowers? That's the most romantic thing you done? Or you brought me flowers after you flew me to Italy for lunch? You know what I'm saying? It depends on what it is. But at the end of the day, it's all about seeing, how thoughtful you are. When it comes to being romantic, it's about the thought. It's not about the amount of money you spend. It's about the thoughtfulness. It's about the meaningfulness about what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. That's very, very, very important. When you can lay those things out and say, this is something that this person really cares about. This is something that really signifies, us. It signifies how much I love her or how much I like her. And it's like doing those little things to show that you listen to her, show that you appreciate her. And, there's a spontaneous aspect to it, or it's very well planned. Those things are what make things romantic, because they're sentimental and they're personal between you two. They are personal things that you two have. It's like your thing, that little thing, that little moment that you guys had together. And that comes with just time. You know what I'm saying? That comes with spending time together, figuring out what each other like. And then you can apply those things and come up with romantic gestures. That's definitely something that you can do. However, you still need to figure out how romantic you actually can be. If you just not, there are some people that just aren't romantic. They didn't see it. It's not taught. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere. So it's like it's some things that you just didn't know. And, to say, for somebody to say, well, you're not romantic enough. Well, did that person give you any pointers on how to be romantic? Did that person try to work with you on being romantic? So it's like a two-way street. That person just had an expectation for you to be romantic and never test your romanticity, if that is a word, which is probably not. But at the end of the day, did they test that? You know what I'm saying? So that's very important to know, and very important for that other person to, to vet out, to see if you are. You know what I'm saying? If that's what their expectation is. To end a relationship because somebody wasn't romantic enough, it's kind of shitty to me, and I would hope that there were more supporting factors to that. But at the end of the day, nevertheless, if it is, it is. But if you're not a romantic person, then it wasn't meant for you in the first place. So, no, but it's plan to get married. That's good. I hope you do, brother, if that's what you truly want. Not really. Oh, dang it. I went all the way down. There we go. So having a child out of wedlock, how, boy, I tell you, fresh beats, boy. Letting them have it. Brian, can you speak on men being romantic and why they don't, right? And know how, when they don't know how. I thought I just did. If you need some other pointers or something, hit me up, brother. On the email side of the game. Damn, why couldn't I hear this 10 years ago, right? I feel you, man. I'm sorry. I wasn't ready. I should have been selfish. That would have saved me from a lot of time. Yeah, dude. It's all good, though, man. Teach it to your kids one day. Some good advice. Thank you, Connie. Take kindness as weakness. Yes, that does happen. Well, some people take kindness as weakness, and when you see that, then now you know what it is, and you adjust yourself accordingly. Damn, I'm late. Soto Nation in the building. What's up? What's going on? Don't forget to click okay. Say that again. Speak louder. Alright, so let me scroll all the way down here. Let me see if there's anything else. Refreshing to see men looking for relationship advice, not just women. Yeah, it is. I'm glad everybody came through on tonight. I doubt he is referring to abusive relationships. I don't know what that is or where that came from. Not true, bro. When it comes to I don't know the context in what you was talking about, Nomar, so I'm not gonna respond on that. Message, take on his message as it relates to your message, right? Okay, I think that's pretty much about it. Anybody got any other questions, anything? I don't think so. I hate liars. Me too. Tell the truth for show. Could be a tool or weapon. Alright, people. I think that, how can you, here we go. How can you be in a relationship without romance? Oh, that happens, man. Trust me. It's a tool, man. If it's something you don't know and something you haven't learned, you could absolutely do that. What type of relationship doesn't have romance in it, having romance in it to build bigger and better? It's like I was saying before, man. Romance is something that's not taught, and everybody doesn't know romance. It's like you look at the young people today. Those young people don't know anything about romance. All they know about is the latest Migos. They know about the latest twerk. They know about when the Jordans coming out, and they know, what the hottest gear is to wear, how to look good, and how to be appealing, and all that kind of stuff. People aren't really on that whole romance thing today. It's just not something that's really practical, especially with a lot of millennials. Now, you would do things and show certain displays of affection for somebody, but just out and out being romantic, it's just something that a lot of people, it's a lost art. It's just a lost art. So it's like that's definitely possible. Um, how's my day? My day's been pretty good. Lopez, how can you be dating with someone? Without romance is the question. Well, I don't know. Y'all can figure that part out. But sex is very important. That is the glue to the relationship. You know what? Let me say this about sex in a relationship. Sex is extremely important. However, I think that we take sex out of the context and what it is. Sex is about the connection. It is about when it's that thing that keeps you together. It's that piece that brings you close. You know what I'm saying? It's that piece that's supposed to be that glue or that grease in the gears. It's that thing that makes everything work better. So it's like you look at a set of gears, right? Like in a transmission or something like that. Those gears got the sprockets or whatever you want to call it, or the gear pieces, and they come together, right? So now they fitting together. And then as those gears turn, they work together like that, right? Those gears come together and they work. And while those gears are coming together, they're turning a whole bunch of other clockwork and are powering a bunch of other different clockwork. However, if those gears continue to work this way, they continue to meet and continue to engage into each other, they continue to do this thing. If there's no grease, then those parts become hot. Those parts will then swell, and then they'll eventually break down. Sex is like the oil or the grease. It is that piece that keeps those things running smooth. It is that piece that keeps those things conditioned well. It is that thing that keeps those pieces able to do what it is that they do and to be close like they are. That's what sex is. Sex is a connection. It's a thing that connects you all on a deeper level. And it's like sex for men and women, it's different. The part of connecting with somebody sexually, for men, it's more of a physical connection. For not to say that it's not emotional, and it's not spiritual, but for women, it's more of an emotional connection. It's more of a spiritual connection. When a man enters a woman, he is tapping into something. He is connecting and putting himself into her. And that's the desire that he has, and she has the desire to receive him. So they work together. That man and that woman coming together, that's how it works. That in and out, that coming in and me accepting you and you wanting to be in me, there is a connection piece there. So that is why it is so emotional and spiritual, and it brings you together. So it's like that's something that is really important, and that's why it's so important, because it keeps you connected. The more that you have, having sex, and that's one of the things that I always tell people in relationship counseling and things like that, you cannot or should not ever withhold sex from your partner. You just shouldn't. If you are in a relationship with that person and you don't want to sleep with that person, then there is a problem, because that problem should be whether or not you are even should you even be in this relationship. Because at the end of the day, we can be upset at each other, we can have differences, we can be, have our ins and outs, but there should always be a wanting and willingness to connect with each other on that level. Always. So it's like, work those things out. It shouldn't be a thing, well, man, I ain't had no sex in 4 months. We ain't slept together in three months. Now a day or two go by, I get it. But having weeks, months, some people years at a time when you haven't been together, haven't connected like that, that's a huge problem. That is a huge problem. So it's like, it's that thing that makes everything work well together. It is that thing that brings it all together. It connects everybody. It connects those people together to where they are on a deeper level of their relationship. There's a deeper connection there, and that's because I have been inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when people talk about, that piece of just the sperm and the soul ties ejaculating inside of a person, inside of a woman, those soul ties that you create, that is a bond. It is a very sacred bond. It's a spiritual bond, and yes, it feels fucking incredible too. But there is that other piece to that. So it's not just a matter of just getting off and having that release. It's that part of just you being able to release yourself into that other person. And that creates a bond. Plain and simple. It's like a needle being injected into the body. It's like that needle going in is one thing, and that injecting whatever it is that's in that needle, it is, but it's getting inside and being a part of that other person. And you and that person sharing that connection together. That's what sex really is, and that's why it is so important. So yeah, that's huge, and it's like we need to make sure. And unfortunately for us, we are in a society and in our community, we look at sex in the wrong way. We are over sexualized, and we have taken a lot of that emotional, spiritual, and meaningful part of it out of it. Well, not out of it, but we've diminished it. We've made it to where, it's not that big, it's not that important, whatever the case may be. And it really is. So, let's see. Other questions. How important do you think? Yep, I already said that part. Sex is very important there. And then we have, are men polyamorous? I think that's what they're saying, by nature. Yes, it's a fact. There are more women on this planet than there are men. If every man was this could be a whole nother show. But if there was a global pairing of one man to one woman across the globe, there would be a ton of women by themselves, and that is not the natural order of things. So, do I think that every man is polyamorous? No. Do I think that some men can handle it? Yes. Do I think some men should be polyamorous? Yes. Do I think all men should be polyamorous? No. I think there's a certain level of your mental fortitude to be able to do that. I think you have to have a spirituality about doing that, because I think a lot of times people focus just on the sex part, and the sex is like the smallest part of that. Sex is really nothing. At the end of the day, the sex can become more of a chore than it is more of a pleasure. I think it's a thing about being mature and being able to be mentally stable on all parties, to be able to come together and realize that what you all are doing is that you all are blending lives together. It's not just about, I sleep with this person on Mondays and Tuesdays, I sleep with that person on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I sleep with that person on Thursdays and Fridays. That's not what it is. And then the other person on Saturdays, and I have Sunday to myself. Whatever the case may be. That's not what it's about. It's about being able to say, do we all in this relationship, whether it's, two of us, three of us, whatever the case may be, do we all share the same values? Do we share the same mentality? Do we share the same goals? Do we share the same love for each other? Do we want to be together, all of us, and spend our lives together, combine our time, our energy, and our resources together to build a life? At the end of the day, that's one of the foundational things that you're going to need to be able to do that. And I think that some people are capable of it. When you're talking about people who may hear this and say, I ain't gonna never be, with this person. I couldn't just be with two people. I couldn't have no man and he with another woman. Most women have shared or may currently be sharing their man with another woman anyway. So, with that being said, what is the difference besides the lie? I'll wait. Email me. therelationshiprehab@gmail.com. But with that being said, that's a lot of that goes on today. If it wasn't meant to be that way, then there would be women and men that would just mate for life, like some animals do. There's some animals that will just have that one mate and that's it. There isn't anything else. If that person dies, I'm by myself. So that's not how we function as a society. That's not how we function as a race. That's not how we function as a people. So it's like there is absolutely I believe a possibility of that. I think that the main reason why it is not something that is prevalent today in our society is because of the sheer economic power that it brings. I think that's why it is against the law. That's why the government won't allow you to do it. Because at the end of the day, if you have three people living together, building lives together, and they are able to combine their time, their energy, and their resources, their money, a person who makes $100,000 and then has two wives who also work, then now they have a home that makes $300,000. They all do the same job. So now I have combined my resources, and my net income for my household is double, sometimes triple, which gives me more spending power. I have more spending power, I have more wealth. I have more wealth, I can get more power. I have more power, I can do more things. And in this society, it's about the haves and the have-nots. It's that very small percentage of the super elite, the super rich, and then it's everybody else. It's that little middle class that think they got something, but they really, really don't. But it's okay if they think that. And then it's people that don't actually have jack shit. That's the way that it's set up. And they're trying to even shorten that gap to where that middle class is damn near like this, to where it's almost non-existent. And then it's just people who got money, people who don't. So that's one of the main reasons why it's illegal today. When you go over into other countries, it functions, it happens. You don't hear people over in other countries, well, yeah, the 3 wives all got together and killed the husband. That don't happen. Not to say that it never happened, but it's not prevalent. In other countries where there is polyamorous relationships or plural relationships, whatever you want to call it, those people, they live and they thrive and they do what they do, and that's just how it is. Even here, those relationships that they have normal issues just like any other relationship does. But they absolutely have a lot more advantages. There's a lot more pluses to it than it is minuses. That's a fact. So if it was legal here, there'll be a lot more people that would do it. If it was something and people, I even had somebody ask me and they said, man, would you want your daughter to do that? I said, it would depend if my daughter was, first of all, capable of doing it. And if she was with the right people to do it, that would be something that a choice that she would make. And if she made that choice, I would support it. But in this society, the chances of that happening are probably slim to none. So it's just that simple. It's like that. It's for some people. It's not for everybody. It's just for some people. And I think that in this country, I think people should have that choice. Absolutely. So that's that. Let's see. So is sex very important? Just like that is the glue to relationship. Yep, I think we got that. So that relationship is based on just sex, right, Brian? So that relationship is based on just sex. I don't get that part. We're gonna have to sidebar that one. I know that Jason, what's his view? Let's see here. Just one. What do you know when you pull time off? Wait. When do you know when it's time to pull out of a relationship? When is it time to pull out? Well, it's time to pull out of a relationship when you get to the point to where, number one, you feel as though the relationship is not going to fulfill you. You feel that you in the relationship cannot survive, that you feel as though the relationship is to the point to where you can't be what it is that other person needs you to be. Now, there could be a lot of other contributing factors to that, but those are some of the main ones. When you feel as though you will not be fulfilled in this relationship, I will not be happy in this relationship, I will not get the fulfillment that I am looking for out of my life with this other person being my significant other, then or just being in my life, if it's a platonic relationship or a family relationship, whatever the case may be, then it's time to get out. A lot of times we stay connected to the wrong people for the wrong damn reasons and for too damn long of a time. A lot of times we have people in our lives that should have only been there for a short period to teach us the lessons and move on, but we hold on to them because they may have our blood flowing through their veins, or they may have our children. And that is not good, because what you're doing is you're teaching that child to do the same thing that you do, because children will repeat your behavior. That's a fact. What they see, a child is more inclined to do what they see you do than it is to just listen, than to just solely listen upon what you say. So when you're in a relationship and it's not working and you tell we just staying together for the kids, well, you doing that and there's nothing else left in the relationship, you gonna teach your kid to do the same exact thing. My mother and father didn't love each other. Why should I have to love you? So you don't want to do that. So that is definitely something when you are in a relationship where it is not working out for you to the point to where you feel as though you can never be fulfilled. You feel as though that you are are not going to be healthy in that relationship, whether it's any type of abuse, whether it's any type of emotional, physical, whatever the case may be, or you are just knowing that, hey, flat out, I am not going to be able to meet this person's needs. It's time to roll at the end of the day. I was never, yep. Let me see here. Only when I had a serious relationship, but she knew it wasn't that type of guy. If you were, so not the glue. but the grease. I'll agree with that. I appreciate that, Jason. I agree with you, Brian. My last relationship, sex wasn't really a factor. Her and I just clicked very well, and that happens too. But now you have to look at it like this: that could be just more of a companionship type of thing. You guys work well together. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to it being where you are something to where, hey, this person's just my everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to be able, you can have a balance of both. And one may be higher than the other, but at the end of the day, what's most important to you? If sex is not as important to you and is not as important to her, then everything else clicking together is what's most important. And that works. If it works for you, that's what it is. A relationship should always be organic. And it should always be something that can change. It can always be something that can grow. And when you're in that place, you're in a good space where you're growing, you're changing, you're progressing. It's going in the right direction. You guys are both happy. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's what you make it, what you built it to be. So, all right, let's see here. I think that's pretty much about it. He said, I would like a multiple husband household. Hey, that is something that is very possible. You know, I do, you know, I do believe in the alpha male, beta male, and what's the other, the cuckold or whatever you want to, the cuck classification in men. There are some men that are just passive and just want to be in a relationship and be, you know, play a specific role. And it may not be that leadership role. It may not be that man that's out front and that's the head of the household. There are women the same exact way. There are a lot of women that don't have to be number one, that just want to be a part of the team, that just want to be able to do what it is that they do and help the collective. There are plenty of women like that. Whether they want to admit it or not, same thing for men. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is something that is very attainable to where you could be in a multiple husband household. You know, if you're a woman that can, hey, I can, you know, take on them dudes and satisfy them sexually and be able to deal with them emotionally, be able to deal with their problems and help support them and give them what they need emotionally and spiritually and all that. If you can be that, if that's your desire to do that, then you absolutely just need to find the right ones that can do it. You know, it's hard to get, you know, you can't do that with two alpha males because then they both going to be fighting for the number one spot. But if you have that guy that is, hey, that is more of a beta or may even be a cuck, if you will, and just want to go along with the program, absolutely. You can benefit from that. You can absolutely benefit from that. So, it sounds crazy, but it's very true. And think about it. Think about when you grew up and just your friends that you had. You had those dudes that was in their own cliques and had their own crew, which would be your alphas. Then you had your betas where, you know, you had that one guy that just did what the other guy did, you know, but I say, well, not all the time I'm following, but for the most part I do. But then you had those cucks that just, whatever you tell them to do, they gonna do it. They were just those dudes. And that's just how it is. And I'm not talking about as kids. I'm talking about as just, you know, young adults. You know what I'm saying? You have those people that just want to be a part of the team, that don't want to be the star of the team, that don't want to be the leader. I just want to be a part of the team, and I definitely want to be a part of a winning team. And at the end of the day, whatever part I got to play, whether it's taking out the trash and cutting the grass, that's what I'll do. You know what I'm saying? It's like that definitely happens. Not that many, but there are some that are like that. So, yeah. Yeah, George. That right. Let's see. Do you have advice in regards to sex after having a few young children? Typically, us women are too tired, and the quality of sex decreases for both. Great question. So, young children and sex. What you have to do, and this is the part where it really helps to have family involved. You have to have some help. You have to be able to make time for sex. You make time for your man, make time to be alone, and I'm just not just talking about, you know, rolling over on your side with the hip game or just, you know, that late night roll over, pump and dump and you're good. That works. But you have to have those moments where you set that time aside to where, hey, you know, the kids at your mama house, kids at your friend house, kids at your sister house, whatever the case may be, for a few hours. And you all have that time to where, hey, you can be sexy, take showers, get the cologne on, light the candles, turn on the R. Kelly, turn on the OJs, turn on the whatever you got to turn on to turn you on. Turn it on. And that's when you all have that, those few hours. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times too, and this is one of the most important things about sex. Sometimes you have sex, and even when it's a quickie, sometimes it's that after part. That part of just being there with that person, laying in the bed, pumping in the sweating, and you're breathing hard. You're sweating, and you look over, and oh man, that was good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just that, or having pillow talk. That's one of the things that definitely comes along after sex. Or you just sleeping, just want to go to sleep in that person's arms, or whatever the case may be, just being close to that person. Those are things that are very important, and we have a tendency to just forget about those things. So it's like there are a lot of different parts to sex. There's that foreplay piece. There's that getting revved up and all that stuff. You're kissing and you're touching and you're rubbing, and then there's the actual intercourse part, and then there's the climax part, and then there's that afterglow part. Those are all important parts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be able to have time to go through that. And it don't take 6 hours to do it, but make time to do that thing that you guys used to love to do all the time. Do that thing that got you them kids at the end of the day. Because them kids was here now, but they was damn sure fun making them. So do that thing that you did to get them here. Make time now. And just to tie this back into what we were talking about before, if you were in a polyamorous relationship, that would be something that would be solved very easily. Because those 2 kids or those 3 kids or those small children that are overwhelming you, you would have help in the house right there with you. It wouldn't be something where you just being overwhelmed, where you got to cook, clean, get the kids ready, take care of your husband, get the clothes ironed, get the dishes washed, and fix the food and all that. You would literally have a teammate. You would have a teammate where this person can do these things, this person can do those things. I can take the baby, I can change the diaper, I can fix the food, I can wash these clothes, I can put these clothes in the machine, I can start dinner, I can stir this pot, I can do those things, I can make a sandwich, whatever the case may be. You guys can help each other. And that's what that team aspect is. And it's all about a team in a polyamorous relationship. And that's something that can help you. However, if you're not mentally equipped to do that, then you have to take on that extra bit. And you may be overwhelmed. But you have to go ahead and say, well, let me make time. Schedule time. Get off days, a Saturday, or whatever the case may be. Have your husband or you and your husband take PTO. Whatever the case may be. Hey, on the Wednesday, we're going to take the day off and put in for 2 weeks in advance, and we're going to be off that day. That way we can have our sex session. The kids are gone, or the kids in daycare, whatever the case may be, and then we can sleep the rest of the day and catch up on movies or TV shows. Absolutely make time for those things, and that's okay. We'll tend to not take vacation and won't take any time off to be with our significant others. I tell people all the time, take you a personal day every now and again. At the very least, you should take you a personal day every 3 months. Just a day where you don't, and I'm talking a personal day, not when you go run errands, not when you go take care of business and do all that and go here and go there. You should take you a personal day at least every 3 months and do absolutely nothing. Jack shit. And you should do it before you have your 2 off days. Where you don't do nothing. Literally, I'm sitting at home. I ain't paying no bills. I ain't cleaning shit. I'm not washing nothing. I'm going to sit here and do what it is that I like to do. Whether that's sitting here talking on the phone for 8 hours, whether it's watching TV, watching a movie, sleeping, going to the gun range, going shopping, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, it just makes you feel good, and it's not work related. And it's not something that you got to go do for somebody else and take care of somebody else's business. You should do that. That's 4 days out the year. Every 3 months, at least. Take that time for yourself to decompress, to relax your mind, and do those things that you like doing. So, yeah, but absolutely for that sex thing, it's not the decrease in the quality of sex. Absolutely, it changes. It's fluid. You'll say it can go up, it can go down, it can get weak, it can get strong, it can be. It happens. That's just life. But the fact is, you need to have it because you need to connect with your significant other. You just absolutely do. So make time for that. I think so. I gotta check that first. Let's see. I think that's it. Yep, that question is for Jason. Gun on high. Never did I say never. Alrighty. Okay. So, I think that's pretty much it. I hope I've answered everybody's questions. If I didn't, always hit me up at therelationshiprehab.com and we can go from there. Let me see. What is it? Wait, hold up now. I see Brian can't answer that. You need the guru for that. One-on-one. What? What is that? Let me see what you talking about. No friend zone. I can't see it. How to mend a sex life after I cheated. Shit. You gonna really drop that DTO? Really? How to mend sex life after I cheated. God dog, man. Well, that's something that we would have to do on another show. Cause it's too much, it's too many variables. Now if you want to do a one-on-one or something like that, we could do that. We can just sit and chop it up and figure that thing out. But I need a lot more information than that. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out, man. That's something we can figure out later. Email me, dog. See, should have brought them on. Should be hauled off and flogged. See, there's the mental fortitude right there, Snuggles. The person who said that said they should have, I guess they should have bought the multiple husbands. They should have bought the multiple husbands. Should be hauled off and flogged. See, there you go. That's their mental fortitude. Not just so because of how we raised, and that's just based on our culture and society. That's just what it is. Instantly turned off by it, instantly not even entertaining it, and not even really realizing what it is and what it's about. So that happens though. That's just us. That's just us. I do want to say, hey, I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. I appreciate everybody that came by, checked us out. It's been awesome. I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. As always, I love doing what it is that I do with you all, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It is an honor to be able to be here and share this time with you. I do, however, need to say something, and I thought about it, but I do have to say it at the end of the day. Tomorrow, I am going to... I have a funeral I have to go to. A very dear friend of mine, good friend of mine, a guy I used to work with, has passed away. And it was definitely something that was not expected. It was untimely. It was, my man was 35 and just didn't expect to see this one coming. I have to tell people, when you know people are in not the best mental health, and you are connected to that person, you check in with that person, you talk with that person, do whatever you can to get that person help, professional help. Let their family and their close friends know that a person is not in a good space. Because at the end of the day, when you tell people that, when you call and reach out to people about those type of things, then you at least give people the opportunity to do something to make a change. And it's like when you have people in your life, you have no clue, man. You have no clue as to what somebody may be going through or where somebody may be in their life at any given moment, any given time. So always make sure that you check in with those people that you love, and I am definitely guilty of that. I wish that I had known that my man Los was in a bad way that he was in. I wish I could have talked to him. You know, not to say that what I said would have changed him, but I would have loved to have had the opportunity to at least give it a shot. I just didn't expect, I didn't even know that he was in that bad of a space, man, in his life. And I would just tell everybody, man, check in with your people. See how people are doing. Tell people how you feel about them. Tell people that you love them. Tell people that you care about them. And when you and at the end of the day, make time for people, man. It's like we tend to not do those things. We tend to not think about people the way that we really should, and then when they're gone, we tend to think about them. We tend to really think about them and really care about them and really rehash all of those things that we did. And it's like my man Carlos was was a good dude at the end of the day. And I I feel like at a certain part of me that feels like I did fail him because I didn't check in on him. I didn't call him. And no, we weren't the best of friends and we didn't grow up together, but yet and still he was somebody that I knew. I wish he would have reached out to me and all those different variables that I can say, but I got to accept responsibility for it too. I wish I could have talked to you, Los, just one time, just to say, hey man, that I appreciate working with you. I appreciate the laughs and the good times that we had. I appreciate the work that you did. You were very good at the things that you did in life, man. He's one of the best car installers I ever knew, man, and he loved doing it. He was one of the best examples of a single father that I saw. That dude adored his daughter. And to just be in a bad place to where you weren't taking care of yourself and things just life wasn't what you wanted it to be, and you just had just a bad space and then a bad point, and to have it end because of that, man. I just think that life is more than that, man, and I'm so sorry that that's how it ended for you. I wish that I could have been a better person in your life than what I was. I wish that I would have had an opportunity to talk to you, just to check in on you, to tell you that I love you, to tell you that I appreciated you being who you were in my life, man, and knowing you was a pleasure. It really was, man, and I am definitely going to pay my respects to you tomorrow, my brother, and to everyone else, man. Those people that you haven't talked to in a while, check in with them just to see how they doing and let them know that you love them, man. It's so important. It's so important. And to anybody that's watching this, man, that sees this, man, hey, man, if I ain't talked to you in a while, if I ain't seen you in a while, call me, man. My number ain't changed. Email me, man. It's all good. If you ever need to talk to me, holler at me. I will try my best to be there for you, man. I will try my best. I love you guys and I appreciate all of you, man. And if you are going through something and you can't get in touch with me, seek professional help. Seek professional help, man. There are so many resources that are available to people. Research, hit the internet, go talk to somebody, man. At the end of the day, I hope that people hear this message, man, because you never know where somebody is in life, and you never know how much time somebody has on this earth, man. So with that being said, I want to just say rest in peace to my man Carlos Page. I love you, brother. Shout out to all of my Best Buy 1122 Terminators in Blue on 87th and the Dan Ryan employees, man. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, and I'm so proud of how we all came together for this dude in this time, man. It's a terrible way to meet, but at the end of the day, man, we have to do better, and I hope that we do, and I hope that I do. With that being said, man, thank you guys. I love you all. It has been a pleasure. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab, and the Doctor of Discussion is out. Peace, you guys. Thank you. I love you guys. Share this, and till next time, man. You guys be good and be a better version of yourself.